Yes, it does. All right. Open up. All right, I do apologize. My mic cord broke, so I couldn't talk. And in turn, I had to go get my spare. So everything's not working. I do apologize. But let's get into it. I figure we'll start off something that you all would enjoy. Uh, Let me close a few things. Okay, like I said, I do apologize. Okay, Jordan, just bear with me for a minute. We'll get started here in a second, but I want to play this all for you. To set some good vibes. We'll let it go, okay? Then we'll roll.
I am a hellhound no longer. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm a hellhound. Thank you. Thanks. Why is there a pineapple on my chair? God damn it. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are super excited to see the new Heaven Hound model. So, without further ado, I won't keep you any longer. I feel like this is the first debut, finally, where it makes sense for me to descend from the...
I just want to bring back some good memories for y'all. That's the reason why I played that. Not to add to your pain or make you feel bad, but I figured maybe hearing her voice would, put you all in a good mood. Hey Jordan, if you wouldn't mind going on to Twitter and letting everybody know that I'm up and running. I let Power Up know too. So hopefully we can get more people in here because I want to hear from a bunch of people. If you would do that, I would appreciate it. Okay, I had this all organized. I had to restart my computer. Trying to figure out why everything was black. Fix that. All right. All right, we're going to get started because I'm foreseeing this being a long one. But real quick, we're going to recap some of the stuff that I went over in my first Cinder stream and the conclusions I came to. This is Nominalist, however you say her name. Okay, like I said during my first stream, I had problems with this document, mostly because this part right here, where English not being her first language, and things could be taken out of context or misconstrued, especially if someone else is writing it for her. That's my major issue with this. Other than when we went through all these messages here that redacted was very unprofessional, talking about other VTubers and everything, which is, in my opinion, an unprofessional move, and he shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done that. Same thing here. Get the Cinder. This part in Cinder's part of the document, I didn't really find anything wrong, other than maybe she needed to word things properly. Take more time to think about what she was saying, basically, and cut out some needless stuff and just know. I know in the VTuber community, everybody has a personal relationship, and because of those personal relationships, it's easy to misunderstand things. And like any other type of relationship, if you don't talk things out, you end up, well, it's kind of what the situation is right now. But I didn't see, everybody's made the assumption that, or hating on Cinder, that she knew what Redacted was saying. Okay. No one can say that, because the only statement we've seen from Cinder here in this, where was it? Where was it? Was it this? Okay, yeah, that's the first time she stuck, or she shows up. Okay. Oh, no, maybe it was up. Basically, she said she. Oh, there's never been a statement in any of these DMs that Cinder said she was aware that she approved of what Redacted said, or even this, she didn't say anything about being aware of what Redacted was saying. Okay, now people are talking about this part here. This, I understand what he means. Okay, Nautilus showed a message from Redacted. Okay, understand what he means does not mean approval, nor that she was aware that he said it. But it means that she read that and understood what he meant. Okay, let's not go looking for other meetings than what's been printed here. All right, it's like most of this is redacted. I mean, that one section with Cinder, that was it. Like I said, redacted was unprofessional. Her Cinder was in a personal relationship with redacted, and it became a kerfuffle. We went over her apology too. We discussed a lot of things in this apology. I didn't read the whole thing out loud on my stream, but I did read it on stream because I didn't. Pretty much, you can go read it yourself. The one problem I did was this guy. All right. He should have kept his relationship with Cinder a secret. Quite frankly, Cinder shouldn't have brought it up. But hey, here we are. What brought me back to this situation, I saw a tweet. Reached out to the person who made the tweet and asked if I can use it on my stream. She doesn't want her privacy. She wants to be kept private. She doesn't want her name out there. She doesn't want to really be involved in the drama. But some of the things she said in her tweet made me go, okay, maybe there's more to talk about here. Maybe there's some things we should look into more. And I'm going to read out her tweets. I'm not going to say her name, but if you do figure out who it is, do not bother her. Yeah, I told her I would protect her identity. Do not bother her. Because I made a promise to her. And if I find out that you did bother her, you will be banned. And if you follow me on X and Twitter, I will block you. Because right now, I'm telling you not to bother her. Don't quote tweet her or anything like that. Other than the people who have already done it. saw the title and just wanted to share some things. Okay, I mean, Jordan, you could when we get to that point, Jordan, we can do that. But I want to read the reason why, go through the reason why I decided to do this again. All right, this is the things she said. I usually never speak up on drama or politics, but I'm just so utterly confused by the Cinder drama. I have honestly been it's following it this entire time, but I could not see how any of it makes sense. Like, how did this even get to this point? This genuinely bothered me, not because it was Cinder, who it was about, doesn't really matter. What matters is how this can even happen in the first place. It, it, it has just shown me how, how untrustworthy and toxic the VTuber space is. It is disturbing that nobody questioned anything. If it turns out all the claims are true, cool, you got them. I'm just not going to blindly believe hearsay, out of context S shots. But this has been long enough. This is my end of the drama. So I'll just leave this here. I'm out. Okay. She quote tweeted someone. You Bill lie. It's KO from June 6th. Galileo announced you built a lie out of twisted words and cherry picked. No context. Screenshots. People believe you. Jeered you while you destroy someone you painted as the villain. All right. Okay. So we'll go to X. Okay. I got microphones, cords all over the place. I'm trying to get myself straight. Let me post. I want to get. I mean, Jordan. You were very helpful in my first stream. I want to get as many voices out there. I mean, I'm not trying to up my sub count really, uh, but I know that there's fans out there that want to have stuff to say. I want to give them the opportunity to say it, just like I want to give you an opportunity. I just sent out another tweet. All right. But I wanted to. There's a lot of documents. Yeah, it's this one. This one I found by refresh. because I had to restart, my tabs aren't organized. Okay, this was Powder. Okay, Powder. He created this document here. And the links we got here, we're going to kind of follow. We're going to watch parts of videos. Okay, and go from there because he starts off with the Shy Lily video. No. No. Oh. Yeah, let's go to the Shy Lily video. Oh, it's the one that we.
The actual starting point, the dominoes fell when one thing leaked. One singular thing. Like 5 or so days ago. One thing leaked. A singular thing. And I go, it was about me being slandered, throwing all kinds of accusations around to Nano, making me seem problematic, weird, making me sound like a person someone wouldn't want to work with because who does those things? They were saying I dodged collabs with them. Collabs that had like 7 fucking other people in there. Collabs I was thrown into in a big ass group chat and simply said, sorry, can't do. So I have something that day. One of them was a dentist thing. I didn't have it on that specific day, but I just didn't want to. The day after the dentist, I just simply didn't fucking want to. And the other one, yeah, I dodged. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. One of them I did. Because at that one, I already knew. And the other one, yes, I dodged. But you know what's weird? The one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. What about the 6 other people who were just looking at me dodging and going, oh, okay, she's busy? It's kind of weird that the only person that has a reason to be weary was actually weary. What about the 6 other people that I also just left hanging where I said, sorry, I'm busy? They just took it and they were like, okay, we'll just replace you with someone else. Cool. It's called projection. Cause she fucking knew. She knew. Absolute business. So anyways, I was accused of dodging, which somewhat fairly I did do once. Anyways, I was accused of not acknowledging her when she rates. And like, oh sorry, you know when Buff rated me earlier, I'm sorry for not calling Buff's full government fucking name. Pop of Twitch.tv, thank you so much for your raid and bringing your community from Buff Pop from Twitch.tv over here. Like, now I get to say it. When she raided, she is on the fucking stage. I am pausing my sponsor to talk to her. I'm having a normal ass reaction to a raid, like I have with everyone. Gotta get the full government name out there because apparently else people don't feel graced. Otherwise people don't feel like good job rating you. Like, damn, I'm sorry. What was your other accusation? Let me think real quick.
Alright, couple things real fast. The first part where she didn't want to do a collab because she just didn't want to do a collab. And she made the excuse to go to the dentist. She just should. No. I like Shy Lily. Now I'm being upfront. I like her. I've watched some of her stuff. I find her entertaining. I find her personal. But that move was kind of manipulative. If you don't want to collab, just say you don't want to collab. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do it. Thanks for asking. I just don't feel up to it. That's all you got to do. You know, be honest. Okay, if she has already heard things about Sinder at that point, Shy Lily should have said something. I'm being honest. Shy Lily should have said something. Because Sinder wasn't aware. Let's be honest, Sinder wasn't aware. And it's one of those things where you can't go, it's good for me to do it, but bad for you. Okay, it's just one of those things. If you say one person's been, you're manipulating me, then you manipulate them. You can't have it both. You can't, right? If you condemn a behavior, don't do the same behavior. The Ray thing, I get it, right? It's called for attention. Hey, shout my name out there. But is it required every single time you do a raid on Twitch to shout someone's name? It's a petty little thing. That's my point. It's just petty. If she shouts out 15 times and the one time she doesn't, get upset. Come on. That's kind of like get over it, move on type thing. It's a petty, very petty. But let's continue on with this.
Oh yeah, them saying I've been weird ever since VCard, which also isn't true. We've literally done a collab ever since. We've talked ever since. I contacted her for a technical issue that you guys said she also had ever since. It's just just a bunch of stuff that makes me sound weird and competitive when, again, reflecting. That one screenshot started it all, and that was from, at that point, a few days ago. That one screenshot, and I was like, that's fucked up. And I gave Nano the receipts of it's not true. I did say, I did ghost her in the DM once. I didn't see the DM. But somehow, before Nano worked on my 3.0 model, that wasn't a problem. Everyone who...
Alright. This is the problem I see with this whole situation. Everybody's blaming Sinder for redacted. Okay. Jesus. Hey, people, you cannot control what another person does unless, and for one understand, Redacted lives in one part of the country and Cinder lives in another part of the country. In other words, Cinder was not standing over Redacted's shoulder when he was typing that shit out. So she had no idea what Redacted said. She may have said something along the lines, hey, talk to Natalis and see if she what's our status of my model, or if she wants to work with us exclusively. I seriously doubt Cinder went, hey, talk to Nihilus and Trash Shy Lily and Bow and Silvervale and all these. I seriously doubt she said that. Okay? That everybody's taking a stance that she knew exactly what Redacted said. If they live in two parts of the different places, and he's typing on his computer at home, how the fuck does Cinder know what Redacted said until after the DMs were exposed? That's why I don't get. Remember, I said I don't have very much sympathy for Cinder. Okay, she made mistakes, no doubt about it. She made mistakes. But her mistakes are so fucking minor as compared to what Redacted did without her knowledge. That's the part that really bothers me about this situation. Everybody's pissed off at Cinder because Redacted was her manager. When I first started this little thing, I thought they lived together, but I have since learned, thanks to Jordan, that they didn't live together. They live in basically two separate states, so Cinder wouldn't know what the fuck Redacted said to Nanolis. It's just an impossible situation unless Redacted gave remote access to his computer to Cinder. That's the only way she could fucking know. And we don't know that. I get why the people involved are hurt, but I think they're directing their anger at the wrong person. They're making a lot of assumptions. Shy Lily, Val. The only one that may have a legitimate gripe with Cinder is Silverface. And when we get to her, I'll explain why I feel that way. But Val's reaction here, putting all the blame on Cinder, that's not fair. It isn't. Not Val. I'm sorry, Shiloh. Shiloh putting all the blame on Cinder, it's not right. It's not right. I'm not saying Cinder is blameless, but the veracity and the viciousness in Shadow's voice towards Cinder, wrong target, honey. Wrong target.
It's in contact with me. Anyone who is close, even my viewers, everyone knows I suck at Discord. I'm very distant, I'm very messy, I don't check often, and I'm not very thorough. So, and she knows that too, because it happened last year as well. She knows it too. That's why we have a group chat with her and Buska and me in it. So she wants to plan something. Hello? So she wants to plan something, she knows where to go, and she has used it in the past, recently, for cards and stuff. But Lily, you don't know every message I send on your behalf, obviously. I forgot. Buska operates completely independent, and I have absolutely no knowledge of anything happening ever. I just want this to be public knowledge, so if I get cancelled, I can throw him under the bus, even when there is screenshot.
Everybody else see the problem here? I know she's being facetious. Not everybody's situation is the same. Not everybody's situation. Wherever this person, let me go back here. Let me see if I can catch the name.
Recently, for cards and stuff. But Lily, you don't know every message I send on your behalf, obviously. I forgot. Buska operates.
Buska? All right. Maybe their relationship, obviously, is going to be a lot different than Redacted and Cinder's. But just because your relationship is one way, you cannot assume that's the way of everybody's relationship. All right. Buska can say, hey, I'm going to talk to an analyst, or I'm going to talk to this VTuber or that VTuber about a collab. This is the message you're going to set. Do you approve? Shiloh goes, yes. And then he sends a message. Or they talk about on the phone. I'm going to talk about this person. I'm going to talk to this person about this. Is there anything else you want to add? No, just stick to the main point. I mean, obviously, her relationship with this Bosco is a lot different than what not Shiloh, get my VTubers confused, between Redacted and Cinder. All right. From what I can perceive from that document, Redacted often communicated in such a way. Redacted kind of acted independent of Cinder. That's what I got out of that document. Right. I'm not saying that's right on Cinder's part, but it wasn't. I'm just being honest with you. She should have been more involved in how Redacted communicated to people involved with her career. Keep it on a professional level. But I know Shiloh is angry right now, or at the time of this video, but the bottom line is this. Her relationship with her manager is one way, and Cinder's relationship with Redacted was another way. You can't apply your relationship aspects to everybody because everybody's relationship is different.
Completely independent, and I have absolutely no knowledge of anything happening ever. I just want this to be public knowledge, so if I get cancelled, I can throw them under the bus. Even when there is screenshots proving that I clearly am aware, and I am confirming and doubling down and siding with them. I just want you guys to know. That's good. So anyways, yes, I am guilty of dodging a collab, because I simply didn't fucking feel like it. And then I am guilty of ghosting 2 messages where she asked for a collab, which, by the way, she also only does when there is something business related. AFK drop, VCard drop, any.
There's nothing really wrong with that. There's nothing really wrong with that. I mean, I don't get what Shiloh's problem is here. I mean, VTubers don't do a collab every freaking day, right? It just don't. Okay, and Shy Lily's coming off like she wanted to collab with Sinder all the time, all right? Or Sinder wanted to collab. Well, according to her words, it was only when there was business. No, that's fine. You know, there's really nothing wrong with that. You got your shit you want to do. I got my shit I want to do. We got this business venture that we both have to take part in it. We might as well do a collab because of this business venture. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you still can't be friends, but no, friends don't have to do everything together.
The event, any debut, any announcement, any merch, then I'm important. Then we can network. Then he was business. So I am guilty of that, but like I said, I would like to excuse myself from those 2 sins because she knows better. It's been a thing last year, and last year it wasn't a problem. Only until Nano worked on me, it was a problem. Anyways, long story short, that was the one message that got everything rolling because I explained how that's weird. That's cringe and manipulative to do and bother Nano with. If she has a problem, why not come to me? And boy, that's what.
Okay, I know it's kind of hard looking back, and it's easy for me to say the things I'm saying because one, I'm not really involved at all, other than I'm doing streams about it. 2, hindsight is 2020. Okay, I'm sure when everybody calms down, which I'm pretty certain that nobody has, that they're gonna look back on this and say, maybe I should have said something first. That could have prevented all this. Hey, it was just Red saying this stuff. I don't really see Cinder saying this stuff. I'm assuming all the DMs she's talking about is the ones Nano's included. Now all have Redacted's name on it. Making the assumption that Cinder was aware of it is a bad thing to do.
Where it started. That's where poor Nano realized that there is more such incidents. And if this is weird, she has critical thinking, and she's like, if this is weird, are the others also weird? The ones where she literally, on the screenshots, says she feels bad for doing all these things she's being asked to do? That's where it started. And obviously, me being a friend.
Are we talking about that one section that Cinder... Okay, let's go back. Alright. Like I said, most of this is redacted. There's only one section with Cinder. Yeah. Okay, here's the section that has Cinder. Hey, I just want to say, um, I get it, Nano. It was unfair to push this on you, but just really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared to her a lot, even still today, and always living in so much shadow, which is one of the reasons why which is one of the reasons why Red asked about not making any more models for her. Just it seems like Red fucked up a lot of relationships. I'm just saying, that's the way it looks like. And when you said I understand things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me for so much after that time. I appreciate you, Nana. I appreciate your decision to work with. Yeah, hey, that was fucking. Okay, remember when I said that Cinder has a bad case of imposter syndrome in my first video? This next line kind of prove it. It's not me, but others, people's opinions of us. I'm just trying to not get involved in any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from, Nano. There's no hard feelings. Is that first sentence there tells me that Cinder has a bad case of imposter syndrome, meaning that she doesn't believe she should be successful. All right, I brought this up in my first stream about this, but I mean, I think this part here was supposed to be okay. It's just a continuation, but the whole Cinder conversation here, other than this part here, she shouldn't have put this part from basically cat emoji all the way down to this, whatever that is. You should have just left it out, but it's too late. This is why she's supposed to have a professional manager, and she does. Okay, and we already talked about that. But that's good. Where was it? Oh, that's right.
Then I talked to Nano and I was like, Nano, I'm gonna be honest, some of the stuff you have here is heartbreaking. I'm thankful for you showing this to me, but I highly encourage you to share this with the people affected, especially Bao, because you know that one nasty one where she sabotages Bao, especially that one. And Nano, the fucking chat she is. Agree.
Prove it. Prove it that Cinder was the one that initiated the whole thing against Bao. That's what I was saying. Prove it. Show me some actual documentation or recording with Cinder's voice saying sabotage Bao. No. But Red is her manager and boyfriend. Who gives a shit? It doesn't mean that Cinder knows. I mean, like I said, I like Shiloh. Find her entertaining. I just think she's not thinking clearly through this. It's high school drama bullshit.
Agreed. She agreed. Still, made a group chat like a few days later because Bao had surgery, so it took a while. We made a group chat. Can you imagine? That Giga Chat fucking whale comes out of surgery and has to deal with this. That group chat we used to expose everything. Not just, from Nano's messages and having to deal with her manipulation. But we also came to realize that everything that happened to us individually those weren't isolated incidences where you're like, well, shit happens. Sometimes you do something that you regret. Sometimes you call your friend a bitch. Sometimes you throw a friend under the bus in the heat of the moment. Hopefully you regret doing that, but that's a different story. But we realized that it wasn't just a coincidence. It wasn't just one incident. It wasn't just a isolated incident. It was a year-long pattern. Everything connected. It was a pattern that consisted over years that just kept going, not stop.
I'm curious if Shiloh talking about interactions she had with Red when she couldn't get a hold of Cinder, or is this just all Cinder? Because no, I'm not saying she's lying, but I would kind of like to see proof. See actual proof that Cinder herself took part in all this shit. I want to see proof. I don't want to hear speculation. I don't want to take part of the he said, she said bullshit. I want facts. Okay, I'm not saying she's lying. I'm trying to say I don't see any proof. And regrettable as it may seem to Shot Lily fans, or even Sinder fans, without actual proof of what happened, no one can say for sure of who's telling the truth.
And that's when we knew this is fucked up. And respect to my friends, we all decided after all the receipts and obviously being very emotionally unstable to sleep over it for a night. Obviously we were all ready for blood. We were like, what the fuck? No way. But we still decided to sleep a night over it. Give it one night. Let's sleep over it. One night. The next day, once everyone was awake and had time to deal with their emotions, we all still knew this has to happen. Like, I'm sorry, but sleeping over this just made it so much more clear that this can't be. And this is where we noticed.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to continue all this video because it's the same thing. No, you shouldn't release a Google Doc. You should contact Cinder and put it on blast if you felt the way you did. All right, you work it out privately. I do agree with a lot of fans of Cinder out there saying this should have been handled privately. Okay, these were all supposed friends. Shiloh, Bao, Danielis, Cinder. Well, they all had a working relationship. And the right thing would have been is everybody got together and work out their issues. Explain why this happened to prevent this big blow up. It would have just taken one person to do it. I'm not saying it had to be Shy Lily. I'm not saying it had to be Natalis. I'm not saying it had to be Bao. I'm not even, definitely not Silvervale, because she didn't want to be involved with this at all. But we all could have sat down and talked about this and request that Cinder to put forth a statement saying, hey, I have made mistakes in my past. I've hurt my friends and I do apologize. Something along those lines. And maybe for her to take a good look at her relationship with Redacted or Red, however you want to call But I'm not going to continue on with this video because it is what it is. That's all I'm going to say about it. But let's go back into this. Okay, now we're seeing which other about. Okay, let's see which one's Bow. Right, let's look at Bow.
Last Friday, Lily messaged me, and because I told her that I was about to go get that procedure done, she held off talking to me for a couple of days. And so she said, it's okay, like, go worry about your health, and we can talk about this later. And I get, the procedure gets moved to Monday. Lo and behold, the OR is backed up by several hours, and they said, instead of just waiting around all day, you should just reschedule. And so I rescheduled it to Monday, and I told Lily, I'm so sorry, like, I just don't want to, I just am not in the right headspace to talk about anything right now. Can you please wait until after I get my procedure done at the hospital? So then a couple days go by, and I'm healed up for the most part. It's not like the worst procedure ever, but it did induce a really bad period, and that is historically when my mood and mental is not the best. So I've been, in a lot of pain, and yeah. So then a few days ago, okay.
Okay, someone said Bao shouldn't, but I think it was even this time. Shall I reach out to Bao to talk about what was happening? Wait, Bao petition. Wanting Bao further about it. What was everything? Right. Fucking mess. I'm sorry, it is. It's just a fucking mess. Let's take. No, this is why. This is how this timeline should be. Should be. Now let's told Shiley there's some weird things going on with Cinder and Red. Hey, let's contact Cinder and Red. Figure out what the fuck is going on. That's how this timeline should have gone. Once people know that Bao was having surgery, don't involve her, because apparently it was a certain type of operation that put her in pain for an extended period of time, and it affected her mental. Leave her the fuck out of it. All right? Until she was better and was mentally able to deal with it. This isn't like Cinder and Redacted were shipping children across the fucking border. Okay, this is high school bullshit. I'm sorry. It's high school bullshit. All right. And everybody in the situation was immature. All right. I'm sure, and I can say this with probably 90% certainty, that there were some underlying issues with everybody. And all this did was give it an excuse for everybody to go after whoever. Jesus fucking Christ. This is so petty. It is. This is so fucking petty on everybody's part. No single person so far that I've seen Nanolist with this, I mean, this part with Cinder doesn't need to be in the fucking document. There's nothing wrong there. You just put Cinder in a position was either I'm going to throw my manager / boyfriend underneath the bus, or I'm going to try to be ambiguous enough where I can salvage my relationship with everybody that's involved in this, because I'm not assuming, I'm going to say she didn't know anything about what Red said here, because unless someone can prove to me for a fact that Cinder knew what Red said in these DMs, and that means that you literally going to have to show me a message, a recording of Cinder saying, I knew everything that Red said. Don't give me the stuff that I know that Redacted and Cinder always work together, always compose their DMs to sound the way they sound. I don't believe that bullshit for 1 second. I don't. I don't. Not at all. Not at all. I don't believe that for a second. It pains me to listen to Bao, because you can tell, one, she's in pain. I'm not talking about emotional pain, that she's in physical pain. All right? Ah, Jesus fucking Christ. Like I said, I'm not a Cinder fan, okay, guys? I'm not a power pop. I'm not here to defend Cinder. I'm here to find some facts, find some actual things that Cinder herself did to get her all this hate that she's getting. All right? That's because I want to understand it. I want to get to the root cause of it. I don't get it. I get that people's feelings were hurt. I get that Shy Lily was hurt. I get that Bao was hurt. I get that Nanolist feels like she was manipulated. Okay, I'm not going to discount their feelings. But the problem with doing something like this, one, it could be context is missing. Right? That's the problem with leaking DMs, because you don't know the full context of things. All right. Just when I was doing an investigation on Nux, and I went through the V Shoujo document. Let me pull that up real fast so we can do a quick comparison. It's underneath here. Okay, there it is. All right. Let me get to a DM. Okay. All right. I mean, something like this, we're gonna have to assume it was a two message thing. I mean, it's a lot of this is pretty straightforward. Okay, because these are from Discord. Because this is how Discord does things. You get like the part of the original message, then you get the rest of it. With a phone text, it's a little bit more questionable. Let's put it that way. This document is a lot different than this one. This is emotional. Okay, this is an emotional document. This was done out of emotions. This was done out of maybe not understanding who's actually should be to blame. Because if she took out Cinder's name and just put redacted, I don't think Cinder would have gotten any hate. To be honest with you. Redacted, because this is all of this is about redacted. All of this is about redacted, except for this little part here, and quite frankly, except for this little part here, Cinder doesn't look bad. I mean, even this here, I understand what he means. He's talking about this part right here, this little piece here. Okay? It's just business. That's the way it's supposed to be. They're doing business with Nanoliths. Granted, Redacted was being very unprofessional. And Cinder was caught in the middle between her boyfriend and someone she felt friendship to. And she got tossed in the middle of their two other people's dispute. Out of this situation, my biggest gripe is the response from other VTubers. Regardless of Cinder's controversy, the reaction of the VTuber was harrowing. They seem mindless. A lot of them are just reacting on emotion. Some are reacting on trying to get clout to feed off the drama. There's some that just don't want to get involved. From what I've seen on X or Twitter. Why do I call it X? I just don't learn how to say Twitter again. But the main players, Val, Lily, you can definitely tell Shy Lily is angry. Okay, from her initial video where she was crying throughout the whole time, and through this video where she supposedly debunks, which she doesn't really debunk anything. It shows a lack of immaturity. It shows that she's still emotional. Instead of thinking clearly of how to resolve this situation, they went with the method of putting people on blast, which doesn't really make them look professional. Okay, no, I'd say Redacted was not professional in this situation. Neither is Shy Lily, or I haven't really listened too much about because it's painful to listen to because she sounds like she's in pain, physical pain. Okay, and it's painful to listen to her talk. Right? She gives off the vibe that she doesn't really want to do this right now. She's still recovering from her surgery. I'm mystified, really. Well, why was this necessary? That a lot of this could have been handled a whole lot better from all parties. Okay. Shiloh could have reached out to Cinder and, hey, I saw this DM. I see Red put me on blast, talking bad about me to Nanolist. What's the problem? Same thing with Bao. Okay. Same thing with Bao. If she really wanted to go that route, if she just know, like, that's Red, he's an asshole. But the community here, a lot of it seems to me no one is acting above board. In other words, no one's being level-headed here. Not the VTubers and not the fans. Everybody's all whipped up in emotions. There's people who are looking for ways to exploit it. You could probably put me in that situation. And I keep on saying, I just want to understand it. I really do. But you all don't know me. You don't. Why believe what I say? Okay. I mean, let's look at, I got 6 subscribers. Yeah, part of it is to get more subscribers. I'm going to be honest about it. 2 is it's fascinating how something so damn minor, because all in all, it's a very minor complaint. This isn't something that needed a Google Doc. This is something, hey, let's get on a Discord call and we're going to work this out type of situation. And after that point, if whether it be Red or Cinder said there, fuck you bitches, then the Google Doc. Then the Google Doc. But no one went that route. On Nihilist didn't go that route. Shy Lily didn't go that route. Bao didn't go that route. Right? Okay. The person that got blindsided the most here in this situation, I'm going to make a logical assumption here, is Cinder was the one that got blindsided out of all of this. Because like I said, no one has yet to prove to me that Cinder knew what Redacted said in any of these DMs, except for this one right here. That there's nothing in this Google document showing that Cinder took part of any of this discussion between Nihilist and Redacted. And okay, it seems unfair to Bao recovering from jaw surgery and being pinned with urgency until she responded. She was down and dragged down under even more. Yeah, I see that. Okay. Let's continue on. Sorry. Listen, okay, the new people here. I'm 56 years old. All right. This looks like a fight between my kids. I don't mean to make a joke at it, but this looks like a fight between my kids. He said mean things to me. No, I didn't. It's because you did this. Well, I did that because he did that. He told me you did that. Like I said, it seems like a fight between my kids. And know what I did in this situation? I looked at all 3 of them and right in the eye and said, "Shut up. You're making a mountain of a molehill." Okay, and those were when 12-year-olds to 6-year-olds. Okay, that's why I say everybody in this situation acted very immature. Oh dear God. Let's listen to a little bit more about Jabal here. We're at basically the 9-minute mark. We're going to, maybe it'd be better if I did it this way. Maybe these things. Okay, right. Is these time stamped? I wonder. No.
2 days ago, I get a message from Lily, and she says, that she really needs to talk to me, and the longer I put it off, doesn't get any better. She didn't say it like that, but that was the gist of it. And she really needed to talk to me, and I didn't really know what to expect, and I felt like my world exploded in the most purest emotional and physical form I could imagine. And I feel like, well, I don't know. I can't even remember what.
All right. It seems like the driving force behind all this was Shiloh. That wherever DM that she saw that pissed her off so bad that she instigated a lot of this. All right. I don't know. It's never been made clear to me what was the initial message that Shiloh saw that drove her over the edge. Maybe it was the fact that complaining about her not shouting her out, or her music video, or Red. I mean, these are all things Red said. And he brought up Bao too. Let's see. I want to see if okay. Okay, we already heard that. Let's see what Bao says here. Okay, cool. It's timestamp.
We thought of every possible solution on what to do next, and we were really fucking scared. Like we.
This is just sad. Okay. This is very painful and emotional. It's getting to me emotionally. Put it that way. I feel very sorry for Power. I just want to say that up front because this is very painful to watch.
Like, I just stopped knowing what. It felt like I stopped knowing what was real and what wasn't, and I kept wondering if I just had a fucked memory or something. Like if I just, I
Like, maybe I just experienced everything differently, or because the alternative was so much worse to imagine. Like,
I really don't want to play.
you have
I really don't want to play this. Okay. But I want to know if anyone brought up talking to Cinder. That's the only reason why I'm playing this. I want to know if anyone brought up talking to Cinder before releasing a Google Doc.
to understand our friendship and our experiences didn't start and end off online. It went far beyond that. Like, I just keep thinking about, like, you,
All right. I don't like listening to people who are in pain, whether it be physical or emotional. It affects me, okay, and not in a good way. It doesn't piss me off. It just it makes me depressed, and I'm in a position I can't really get fucking depressed. Okay, that's why I start joking because I'm trying to lift my own spirits up. But okay, hon. I think there were two cases that made the most sense. One, Red had a read on Shy Lily that was spot on. Cinder indirectly saying she was the biggest icon by saying she was a rare Charizard card. I think perhaps Shy Lily wanted more reciprocation from Cinder that Shy Lily felt was due. All right. I'm going to slightly disagree with the first message. I think Shy Lily says she saw a DM leak, which I'm thinking came from Natalis. That pissed her off. And let's go back. And oh shit. Pardon me. I got my little Cinder folder here. Okay, turn my work with Cinder. Let's bring this up. Okay. Okay, here's the shit about Bao. Okay. And I said this in my first stream. This wasn't necessary. Red didn't have to say anything about Bao. Okay. I mean, a lot of this is about Bao. All right. Don't know why Red just felt like bringing that up. It's none of his fucking business. I don't like Red. If you haven't figured that one out yet, I'm trying to see if there. I knew in here there was something about Shy Lily. Okay, hey, do you have any more plans with Lily besides the model, like outfits or anything? No, being just with models so far. Okay, we're asking for a model recently just made the antenna go up. She was acting weird or Sinner lately. We don't know if something was going on. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Ever since the V card launch, what do you consider weird? lately dipping out collabs that they were both a part of the last minute, now ghosting her messages. Cinder read her a couple times in the past week. Lily won't acknowledge Cinder's by name. I don't get the fucking frog icon. It's just like pretty weird. I don't know. That's super weird since they both share the same store. Around the Velo launch, they were talking, collabing. I don't know what happened. Asking you for a mono was weird. Why was that weird? You know, she says she doesn't plan on getting a mono anytime soon. Why don't she change her fucking mind? I don't know. Hate that we keep bringing you into drama. Then don't. Yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new mono, but it blank look a bit menacing, so I don't talk to her. Feels like we're having to compete, I think, with Lily if she's ghosting on saying mono. All right, I mean, if let's be honest, okay. If I was Shy Lily and saw this, it would kind of piss me off too. Because, quite frankly, it's none of his fucking business. You know, at the end of the day, it's none of his fucking business. I said that's probably in my first stream, but I get why she got pissed off. But was it necessary to do a Google document? No. This is what I think. There's a lot more going on here that we can't see. Okay, I think there was issues between. I'm going to put it this way. I think there was issues between Red and Shy Lily, because that's the only person talking about Shy Lily is Red. All right, because I'm going to double check, make sure I'm correct. Yeah, Cinder didn't bring up Shy Lily or Bow at all. At all. Because Natalis said she's blocking out names of people who didn't give consent for her to use in the Google document. And obviously, Shy Lily did. So Cinder didn't say anything about Bao or Shy Lily. Okay, we can take that as a fact because we can see the messages here. There's nothing in here about Bao or Shy Lily. Okay, anybody who brought up a VTuber was Nanolis. Okay, you don't even see Cinder saying that person's name here. And I'm double checking. No, it's all Nanolis. And we now know who this is. That is Silverbear. It isn't Shy Lily. It isn't Bao. It's Silverbear. Okay. Pardon me. Like I say, it's like fighting with my kids. Okay. Right. It was the messages. Yeah. Okay. I haven't looked at the documents for over a month, but that reinforces my impression that Shiloh was set off by the V-Card collab with Cinder. Red does have a loud mouth and practices with it too much in setting that requires decorum. Yeah, Red is very, very unprofessional. And if you want to, let's be 100% truthful about perceptions here. Red was the dynamite. Shy Lily lit the fuse. But if Red didn't have those kind of messages to begin with, let's bring this over here. If Red didn't talk this way, there would be nothing to go off on. All right. This blew up in Cinder's face because of Red and the way he talks to business partners. And quite frankly, and 100% honesty, Cinder shouldn't be getting as much hate. She's getting more hate than Red is, which makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Okay, you know, this is speculation, but I wonder if Shiley was fishing for information about Red and Cinder from Nihilus after the V card. I don't know about the V card collab. And I'm not even going to speculate on it. Okay? Because we got no evidence to it. And I just deal in facts, and facts I see here so far is that someone, I'm assuming Nihilus showed those messages to Shy Lily for whatever reason, whether she felt pressured from Red, or she felt manipulated, or she's using a translator to, since English is not her first language, and she needed someone to tell her what Red was saying. I said this back in my first video. That person who translated that for Nihilus could have twisted things for Nihilus to react the way she did. Logical assumption is that Red, Shy Lily, Cinder, Val, all are aware that Nihilus doesn't speak English. So they should have just kept the messages on business. And Red should just stay there. I'm being Cinder's manager. I'm not going to talk about other VTubers. I'm not going to talk about other situations. I'm going to talk about the business I have with Nihilus. Just kept it that way. Because this wouldn't have happened. All right, let's get back to this document. All right. Val was told many times to include private information being in. I'm not getting into that because no, that's just fucking high school bullshit. All right. This. I think I gotta close that one. That's apparently towards the end.
In the position where it had to be me to say something, or no one else would. And it's not about whether or not I'm right or wrong, and it's the fact that I didn't even want to be in this position to begin with.
Darling, no one does. And it's wrong that people made you feel that way. Whether it's Shy Lily, whether it's Nihilus, whether it's Red, whether it's Cinder, whether it's yourself. No one should have made you feel that way. Okay. I get that this is a big fucking deal in the VTuber world. In my world, like I said, this is a bunch of children arguing. And nobody wanted to step in or have the maturity level going, shut the fuck up and just call her and talk to her, talk to Red, and discuss your grievances before you go public with this shit. But that didn't happen because every player in this drama is immature. Sorry, people. Most of you who are listening to my voice are younger than me and grew up with the internet in your life. Okay. When I grew up, there was no fucking internet. If we had a problem with somebody, we had 2 ways to deal with. Well, 3 ways. If it was a sibling, we yell at each other and threw punches. It was a friend, we would sit there and fight and probably threw punches. And lastly, we just said, I don't feel like throwing punches today. That was the fucking 70s, people. All right. Hold on. I think I'm going to beg to differ on that. Red was very professional. How would that stop this situation from occurring if the whole situation Red and Sinder made Nano cancel? What I'm saying is Red should have never talked about other VTubers' business because it wasn't his business. His business is to be Cinder's manager and not talk about anybody else's. Because he was not a manager for Bao. He was not a manager for Shot Early. He was not a manager for Silverveil. He should just focus on the business of Cinder. Hey, how is our model coming along? Is there any delays? You don't need to bring up another VTuber. Is there any delays? Natalie's respond with a yes or no. I'm currently working on this model. Your model is this far along. Do you need me to speed it up? And Red would respond with a yes or no. And just keep it at that level. You don't bring anybody else's name into it. As soon as you do that, and it gets out, whether you meant it in one way or another, in text messages, people can twist and turn it wherever way they want. That's why I always said doing business through DMs is a bad fucking idea. Do it over the phone. Because then, no. Hey, I'm going to record you. Oh, the hell you are. You don't have my permission to record me. Would there be a Google Doc if they did business over the phone? Think about it. Now, people can run around now and say, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. I worded it incorrectly. You know, because Discord has a voice feature. Well, I'm saying Redacted was not thinking about how to protect himself, how to protect Cinder, how to keep it professional. Because a professional does not bring up somebody else's business. You don't say, Bao's been getting on our nerves for a while in a business discussion. What does Bao have to do with anything going on? Because it doesn't matter. All right. You stay focused on your business. which apparently at this first message was about a model for Sinder. When can we expect it to be completed? At this time. Okay. That doesn't work for us. We're going to need it sooner. Is that possible? You don't bring up anybody else. You're concerned about Cinder's model. Who gives a flying fuck about anybody else's? You're concerned about Cinder's model, Cinder's business. All this other shit about other VTubers shouldn't be there. Because, why? Look what happened. If you don't talk about other people, you can't be used against you. I'm not saying that you can't do that in a situation where it's okay to vent. But when you're having a business discussion, it's not venting time. Does that make it clearer for you? All right. Where was I? Okay. At no point Cinder or Redacted were contacted. That's to me, the mistake with Shiloh Bell and Nautilus was not trying to work this out privately. Okay. They should have tried. If, like I said, if Cinder and Redacted say, fuck off, bitches, then release the goddamn document. Have it ready to go. You know? But, all right. Yeah. What the? Oh, this is the. Oh, dear God. Hey, y'all give me a minute. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. Before I deal with this person, I need to step away for about. Go to the bathroom, I'll come back. I agree with that. He shouldn't have been her manager. All right, we'll get back to it here in a minute. I just need to make some lemon tea. Yes, I can use a pot. Okay. I hate this guy. I don't know him. I haven't seen any of his stuff. I hate this guy. You want to know why? Because this shit should have never been put out there. It has nothing to do with the situation currently going on. This is just so he can get some subs of some soap opera bullshit. This is the Nux Taku of this situation. Someone that sees, hey, this is training. I can also get some clout off of this by releasing my document talking about cheating with Cinder or Tasha, or no, Tisha, or wherever the fuck you say her name. Fuck him. He's not worth me looking at his document. Because he's a pathetic human being that took advantage of a situation where a lot of people are hurting just to make him get one or two more subs to his channel or to listen to his music or whatever the fuck he does. Who gives a shit? I doubt Red. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Red should have not been her. He should have realized what he was doing. Come to an understanding that maybe he's too close to her and not be her manager. But that takes a certain level of maturity, and which obviously a lot of people that are in this situation don't have, especially this dickhead. Okay, he's not worth my time. I don't give a shit. Okay. And Peaches. See. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What Van Peaches? Why? I mean, it kind of helps bring more insight to the situation, but nobody needed to know that Red was her boyfriend. All right. If Cinder wanted to reveal that herself, so be it. But have some self-respect. I'm old. I'm allowed to say that shit. People who talk about personal lives of other people, I don't hold in high regard. Because, quite frankly, it's nobody's business. I really don't care. Okay, the only thing that does do is kind of help understand Red's attitude towards other people. He was overprotective of Cinder. That's the reason I'm going to go with that and say that that's one of the reasons why he was unprofessional. He was overprotective of Cinder. Sometimes that's a good thing. Most of the time, it's a bad thing. All right. Okay. I got her something. Yes. We'll look at Bow's here in a second. Okay. We're gonna look at Bow's doc. This is, I believe, Spike. Okay, yeah, I think this is Spike. All right, I want to start saying, please don't send hate to anyone involved in this. That's nice of her. I wish to speak about my experience and give more clarity. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything about the first paragraph. If I'm not gonna read it out loud, if you want to read along, please do. Well, some of you probably already read this before. Yes, I'm assuming this is. Okay. Fast forward. Okay, that's. I think that's the part that we need to be interested in. Fast forward to a few months to a year into my journey, and I started to receive harassment, berating comments, and chat messages on Twitch and YouTube videos comparing me to Sinder and putting me down for being a hellhound. Making a definitive switch to Cerberus label brought me a sense of relief because the last thing I wanted was to be constantly compared or harassed at this point. I didn't want to be associated with her due to all the negativity that's been thrown my way. Spite, that's fucking fans for you. Like I said, you know what you do to people like that? You 2 middle fingers up in the air, tell them to fuck off. That's the fucking lunatic fringe. Okay, people, I know I haven't explained this for a while. Let me explain what lunatic fringe is. Okay, everything has a fan base. VTubers, other genders, genres of the YouTube, sports teams, whatever. Okay, you got those fans that support their interest with no buying the merchandise, going to the concerts, the t-shirts, and all that stuff. No, normal things to do. Then you got those fans who are standing on the cliff of psychotic, and they just need a little push, and they'll go off on being toxic. That's the lunatic fringe. Those are the fans that nobody wants because they only make you look bad. They're not helping you, they're hurting you. That's what she just talked about there was the lunatic fringe. Who gives a shit if she's a Cerberus or a fucking hellhound? Whatever. If that's what she wants to do, then she can do it. And nobody has the right to say that she can't. Those that do can go fuck themselves. Period. End of discussion. All right. Who gives a shit? Redacted. Just could be focused on Sinder. You know, I think I said this before. Even if she knew who Sinder was, because I don't see anything here that she was aware before she became a Cerberus that Sinder was a hellhound. Even if she did and chose to model herself after her, you take that as a compliment. You want to know why? Because that means Sinder is successful and she wants to be successful as Sinder. As long as it's not a one-to-one copy, don't fucking worry about it, dude. You take it as, you pump up Sinder's confidence that way. I say, hey, man, Sprite here has a similar model to you. And I guess she wants to be as successful as you, dear. She wants to be as successful as you, Sinder. that means you have hit the big time, dear. You hit the big time. Redacted, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, so it's like there's also unprovoked tweets from her like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design's on me. This is who I am. Like, huh? Who are you saying that to? Oh, laugh out loud. On random cynical. It's because there was one dedicated fan, a blank fan, or someone she knew, I don't know, that would comment on these clips saying, like, who are you going to clip blank? Only Cinder clips. You know, that's fans. And there's fans you want to pay attention for, and fans you want to completely ignore. Let's see. Imitations, yeah, it's the highest form of flattery. And that's how you build up someone's self-esteem, you know? You say, look, you're so successful, people are designing their models similar to yours. Not a direct copy, but similar to yours. You're successful. Compared to the negative viewpoint, or they're trying to copy me and they want to steal my success or whatever. Okay, no, there's two ways to look at everything. There's the positive and the negative. I would promote the positive. As for the things I'm her taking her ideas, I debuted my. Okay, here. This is a key phrase right here. I haven't read this one. That's the reason why I'm focusing so much on it. That I read about. I haven't read Bow's either. But this is something that's far away from the other stuff. She didn't know who Cinder was. Okay. I had no idea that she had fires in her or she was another hellhound. Airspace is broad. I still stumble across creators larger than myself that I had not heard of before. I have never once stole her ideas. All I ever wanted to do is try to be unique in my own way, because these claims that I'm following her and then unfollowing and stealing her ideas are absolutely baseless and uncalled for. This is the bad thing about fans, okay? We all, to use current terms from an old guy, we all have our Oshis. And some of us will defend them to the extreme. Those are the ones that you want to be worried about. Okay? So she had fire junior. I was a big fan of Gargura. Know how many shark VTubers are out there? There are a lot. Or Shy Lily. She has a fin. Is she trying to rip off Gargura? A tail? She's an orca. Yeah, who gives a shit? Really, who really gives a shit? If Cinder is your Oshi, support her. Who cares what Sprite does? Similar post make me feel like I'm being watched constantly. Try my best to believe this was coincidental. No, there were many times I designed new weapons. Didn't think much of it at first, but the film has no issue. Not speaking on whether my designs were taken as your correct reference or hers, addressing the need for unprovoked tweets mentioned in the screenshots above. Shine, I made statements making clear I'm not stealing my idea. I can't copy something that was released, teased, revealed after my own. Fair. Um, are they? Are these outfits similar? Not really. This here doesn't look nothing like that. Okay. I mean, the idea are the same, Greek gods and goddesses, but they're not the same. Simple fact, they're not the same. I mean, okay, let me put it this way. Every VTuber that has a hoodie stole it from Gargura. Does that make any fucking sense whatsoever? Or stole it from the first VTuber that ever had a fucking hoodie? Yeah, are similar character types. If they're going to have a hoodie, they're both going to have ears. But no, it's a different colors, different design. I think someone got in her head believing that Sinder has someone watching her, and just because there's a lot of coincidences. I mean, like she said it herself, the VTuber community is vast. There is going to be coincidences. All right. And it happens all the time. Two people can have the same ideas all the fucking time, and so be it. Okay, it's just all right, guys. Here's you. You tell me. You know the community better than I do. I'm not a Sinder fan. You guys here, the 3 people watching, or 2, you're Sinder fans. Do you know if your fandom acts this way? Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see if anybody's willing to respond to that. That you have members of your fandom that are toxic. I need you to be honest. Because I'll be honest, yeah, every fandom has that element in it. Well, that went down wrong. Excuse me. That's the fucking lunatic fringe for you. Oh, you're blue, so you're copying my Oshi, because she's blue too. Oh, you have a fucking nose. You're copying my Oshi because she has a fucking nose too. There's people like that in every fandom. And some people just can't deal with constantly being attacked. It's like I got attacked on Twitter by Nux Taku fan because what I post every fucking morning. But they come after me. I don't fucking care. Do you think you're going to stop me from doing what I want to do? Have you seen my YouTube channel and what it says in the little thumbnail down there? I'm a grumpy old man. I do what I want when I want. That's pretty much how I live, okay? Uh, I will say this. This right here. I've also seen what happens when creators stand up for themselves and receive major backlash, even if they're in the right. So I've never vocalized my concern. Okay, there's an opinion that you have to vocalize publicly about when something, just like the whole Sinder situation. This is because people vocalize their grievances publicly. You do not have to do that. You can try to reach out to the person you're having a problem with. Yes, I've reached out to Nux, I've reached out to Tectone, and I've reached out to Asmongo. It's because I have 6 subs. Nobody's gonna fucking want to talk to me. But I did make the attempt before I started the whole thing. But even before I did started my YouTube channel, I did reach out to people, and I still do. Just like the person that posted the tweets. You know, let me check something on Twitter real quick. Okay. Someone just reposted my schedule. Sorry. I thought maybe it was another member of the Sinder fan base sending me messages through Twitter. I want to try to get I want to get as many voices as I possibly can to talk and to share their perspectives with me, because I believe more perspectives that are shared with people, the broader your perception becomes. And it works both ways. That my perception of what I'm seeing here hopefully broadens your perception of the situation. Anyway. But yeah, reach out to people. No, if people were going after you because what your designs look like Cinders, contact Cinders. Say, hey, I am not copying you. Can you tell your fans to stop it before I make a video about it? I mean, he's not threatening. I said, I just want it to stop. I said, I don't watch you. I don't follow you on Twitter or whatever. Just make them stop. Okay. I was design my mom. I got my Mr. Shivers and Disney Hades because I call myself a goth girlfriend. Fired by Sand Ember. Okay. Okay. Knowing I was being watched and poorly talked about really hurts, especially when they never attempt to interact with me. That I can get. I can get it. I get it. I mean, when you feel like you got 200 people coming after you, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, but oh, she's talking about Red here. I'm assuming with Nautilus. I mean, I do remember that from the Google Doc, but she said that she designs her own model. So once again, I know this sounds like I'm bashing on Red, but because Red was unprofessional and brought up other VTubers, this happens. No? Okay. Um, uh, This is Bowles. I'm gonna try to get through this fairly quickly. Anytime you see the messages, we are someone close. As someone who close and worked for Sinder for years, I firsthand experienced how Sinder and Red collaborate. The extent which Red operates as her primary point of contact for professional and personal projects. It is that experience that leads me to believe all requests and messages sent by Red, were both known and approved by Sinder. Now, you can't say it's a fact. You can't, unless you're in the room, unless you're part of the messages. You can't say it's for a fact. They may act like a couple. If you're with them in IRL at a convention, that's couples talk. I hate to tell you, and that may be the natural way they talk when they're together. We are that kind of stuff. And I noticed it in Red's. We see what we can pay you, okay? People who are in a relationship, a personal relationship, not a professional one. There's a difference. Talk that way. That's why it's dangerous to be in a personal relationship with your manager. Because when you say stuff like we can pay, it will make people think that the other party, in this case Sinder, approves the message, which there's no evidence that she did. Just because Red said we does not mean Sinder approved of the message. It's simple as that. There has to be something out there that Sinder put in text, or there's a recording of her voicing the fact that she approved of all of Red's messages. We'll never get that. Not now. Yeah. This is the whole exclusive thing. All right. And the mistake here is one, doing it through a Discord DM. And two, well, the major thing is do it through a Discord. Two, you got to do this over the phone. All right. There is a reason why in a corporate world, it's very rare that business is done over a text message on an unsecure server or phone, because of precisely what's going on right here. Most business in a corporate world is either face-to-face or over a company phone on a secure landline, because you're dealing with sensitive information, whether it be customer information or information of how a company does business. That's the reason why professionals don't do business over text messages where it can be easily released to the public. If you are going to do it that way, you be as ambiguous and on point as possible. You do not talk about anybody else but your business. That's it. If you are going to talk about somebody, you be so damn ambiguous about it that no one has no idea about who you're talking about. In other words, you don't name names. Okay, I've been through these. The analyst asked Redacted why he's encouraging her not to finish one. Practice then lists the name among various YouTubers as well as the bandana Sinder and Redacted have harbored against each. Al's been getting on nerves. She had, oh yeah. Well, at least she's not. I take issue with this because you don't know about. You truly don't know about her feelings because in the document, you don't see Cinder bring up Val, Lily, or anybody. You see him doing it. You don't see Cinder doing it. You see Redacted doing it. Okay, Redacted is the one who said all this way. That's all Redacted. We don't know if Cinder approved of this. We don't know if Cinder was even aware that Redacted said this stuff. Everybody's making assumptions that Cinder automatically approves of everything that comes out of Redacted's mouth. People, what does that sound like to you? What kind of relationship did Redacted and Cinder have? Was it a healthy one? There's that pattern of behavior. There is a name for it. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get sued. It's bad. Let's just say a person who's been treated in a certain way for an extended period of time will agree with their partner so that behavior won't happen again. I hopefully made that so ambiguous, but clear enough that people get the understanding what this looks like, what kind of relationship between Cinder and Redacted looks like because of this. Yeah, I don't like Redacted. Can you guess? Friend. This is not what friends do. If stepping on your friends and abusing your power and connection is how you get to the top, then I hope you realize no one will be left when you get there. There's some fact to that statement. You're on top, but you have no friends. And typically, people who don't have no friends don't typically stay on top very long. This is once again. I know I'm repeating myself time and time again. Where do we see any place in this message right here that Cinder approves of it? Okay. We see what Redacted is saying. People make an assumption that Cinder approves of it, but there's no factual evidence that Cinder approves of these messages. Am I making my point any clearer? Oh, okay. Fucking Redacted again. not Cinder. And you better figure out. I mean, this is the main person here saying all this shit. You can assume that Cinder approved of it, but has anybody talked to Cinder and found out for a fact that she approved of all the messages that Redacted sent out? You know, it's important because if she didn't approve, but you know, it's too late now to ask her because she's going to say no. But this is not something we should be saying right now. This is something that Val, Shy Lily, should have asked Cinder. Were you aware that Redacted was saying this to Natalis? Did that thought come across anybody's mind? Because typically when someone says shit about me, guess what I do? I fucking go to them. And not first thing to do is to make it public. To paint my grievances on the side of their car. So they drive around when the side of the car says, hey, look, asshole behind the wheel. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to message in and accuse me of stealing their YouTube editor. Oh, it's over. Well, I can't fucking read that. This is the whole editor thing. Okay. That is a true statement. Redacted actively portrayed me as a thief and a detriment to his business of Cinder. We don't have no evidence that Cinder was involved in any statement by Redacted. We don't. Other than Redacted saying that Cinder felt like Val was getting on her nerves, which is something Redacted shouldn't have said to a third party. Uh, yeah, that shouldn't have been said right there. No, that's just being hurtful. Okay, just being hurtful. I'm not 100% sure she told. Huh? Okay. Okay. Editor thing here. Well, at least she did this right. She didn't put Cinder and redacted claim. Okay, now we have an explanation. Basically, she was pissed off. And because of her still dealing with her surgery on her jaw, she was in pain and emotionally spent and all this. And with egging on from Natalis and Sean and Lily, because of her close relationship with Cinder, Val was put in a no-win situation. All right. I'm not. This is the tough thing for me. Okay. All these people, including Cinder, all this talent here are very likable. And you watch them, you like them. And it's hard to sit here and go, you're the ones that are at fault, or you're the one that's at fault, or you're the one that caused this, or you. It's hard to do that because they're all likable, very. My tongue doesn't want to work right now. That's what she said. Yeah, I'm sorry for that joke. I just a very charismatic people that you want to watch, that you want to believe that they wouldn't do shit like this. But as me personally, I see very immature people who should have made an effort to understand what Bal's going through and just come out of jaw surgery, then asking her to thinking that she should be able to make a fucking video after she had jaw surgery. Yeah, probably should have waited till she healed and was emotionally equipped to deal with the situation, or just don't involve her. Just go ahead and release it all on your own. Just cross out Bal's name. Could have done that too. No, the best thing would have been is just solve this behind the scenes. I mean, all three of them. And if Cinder and Redacted refuse to talk to you, that's when you release the goddamn Google document. Yep. Beforehand. All right. Okay. All right. Let's look at Silvervale. All right. I'm a fan of Silvervale. Just want to be upfront with everybody, and I know her personality pretty well. She doesn't like doing collabs with people she doesn't know, but she got burned because she thought someone was her friend, and he betrayed her. Okay, that's the reason why she doesn't do collabs with unless she knows you very well. In other words, we're going to talk about the person that she likes to do collabs with because she knows her very well. Holding anything after yes, if I wanted my main individual document sensor as this whole situation is much bigger than my personal experience. However, finding out how wide and extensive this transgressions were, I feel the need to clarify my situation, how I was personally affected. I wanted to note, as others have throughout the majority of the message are from redacted Sinder's manager, and I find it impossible he acts so. You gotta have proof. Because managers will do anything for their client. You got some pretty shitty managers that are like that. That will throw other people underneath the bus so their client can get ahead. And once it happens, those people typically get fired. And who ultimately pays the price of their manager's behavior? The talent. Okay. Nano and VTuber 1. Let's see. Oh, that's bad. Well, I think the main things we're looking for are for you not to make any brand new model clients and not to make any new model / outfits with Silvervale again. That doesn't look good. I don't care. That doesn't fucking look good at all. You still will work on models with all your other existing babies, and your art cons won't be affected. So they were just trying to blackball Silvervale. You don't work with Bow or Blank or Silvervale at all. Again, models are. I don't think you ever done with Bow or Blank before. I think that's probably Sprite. Sprite. We also have enough geos. We do like it. Man, oh. Is this about Silvermount? Yeah, I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Cinder. I want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings. Business is business. Now I know you're a freelance artist, similar to this long time client. It makes sense to continue doing work for it. I understand the logistics of it. At the end of the day, you need to do what's best. Well, finally, he said it. So, I think I said that the first time. I really appreciate that. I understand your side too. But this is something you two, not me. You shouldn't get involved with this fight. I just go heartburn. That's all about silver. I mean, it brings certain things into context, you think? I'm a VTuber 1 in the screenshot provided by Nano in the document. I've been friends and client with Nano for years and seeing how she was manipulated, abused. Yeah, it's a problem every time they go Cinder and Red. It bothers me. It bothers me because there's no proof that Cinder approves of Red's messages. Yeah, during Cinder's part of that, you can sense a little friction between Cinder and Silvervale, and we get an explanation why. All right. All right. Okay. Discovering that all this was going behind the scenes gut wrench. I don't know Cinder. We aren't friends. We barely talked. Even writing this, I do not understand what I could have possibly done to warrant the level of malice and cruelty shown. That's a bit over dramatic, in my opinion, but whatever. In our private interaction, I was cordial as possible. Just wasn't interested in associating with her professionally or being her friend. From few uncomfortable interactions I did have with her, I've gotten the vibe that her primary goal was to climb the social and content ladder and grow her brain. Well, that's part of her. That's part of being a VTuber. I'm sorry. That's part of the. That's not part of the whole deal. Okay, I'm fully aware of how common that attitude is, and that's just how you grow in this sphere. But I personally don't have the emotional fortitude or bandwidth to have friendships for the express purpose of growth. For the record, I think it's fine to have that view and approach to content creation, but I also reserve the right to simply not vibe with someone. I'd much rather not associate with someone at all that pretend to be their friends for the purpose of growing my brand. Or you can simply say you just didn't like her. There's some people you talk to her and you go, oh, I just don't like you. Me, I've talked 3 times. I just don't like you. I don't want you send off my hey, I don't like you, bitch vibe. Okay, just be honest. The only time I actually talked to her directly was during my meet and greet at TwitchCon 2023. I just finished my meet and greet and I was wrapping up. She walked directly to the screen, meet me. I was taking a picture of us together. I was not informed of this picture or asked permission for it. Only knew about once I saw it on Twitter later. All right, this statement here, I don't worry about the. She has stated this on stream, by the way. Mostly because what happened between her and V Shoujo and her friendship with some of the people there, also with the big drama that happened between V Shoujo and Nux, has made her very jaded. Okay. She used to be very open and trusting, and she felt burned by people who she felt that abandoned her, especially when the whole Hogwarts legacy shit happened. Granted, there were people who publicly came out on her side, maybe Shoujo, but they left a bad taste in her mouth, and that explains why she behaves the way she behaves. Maybe one day she'll eventually get over it, but she's still not over it. All right. Why do we always have to toss cinders? Just stick with the facts. All right. Because it's redacted. It's redacted. I mean, you don't know about this part. All right. I mean, it does explain a few things in the original documentation. But what I get out of this is that this guy should have just kept his freaking mouth shut. Oh dear Lord. You people, I know I'm repeating myself again. Do not do any kind of business through text messages where it's not secured. What I mean by that people can't do this shit. All right? I mean, you do it over a voice call or a secure server where you will get a notification if someone tries to copy the DMs. And even during those interactions, you don't say anybody else's name. You stick to your business. Fucking A. Reason I brought this up because this is the one person that can collab with Silvervale, Nanners. I've seen Silver receive so much harassment and unfair comparisons to you over the years, and she just tanked it. Minded her business, and never once tried to sabotage your success or tear you down. Deflecting and outright lying several times in this response instead of fully owning up to your mistakes is insulting to everyone. I can't help but feel very frustrated on behalf of my friend and everyone who was on the receiving end of so much unnecessary stress, largely due to the choices you made. They handled the situation with much more grace than you decided to, and they deserve better. The weird backhanded remark you made the first time we met last year stuck with me. Now it makes a lot more sense knowing this is apparently how you normally view and treat people. I hope you can learn from this and realize it's an easier way to be kind and to be happy for your success as well as the success of others. Now, once again, I like Nanners. I watch her and so blah, blah, blah. But she holds grudges, by the way. Nanners and Silvervale can rub people the wrong way. I'm just saying. I know that as fans of them. But sometimes they say shit, I'm like, come on, really? But the reason I brought that up is because Nanners is the one that Silvervale will collab with. No questions asked. If Nanners goes to Silver, hey, you want to collab on this? You want to play a game together? Most of the time, Silvervale will say yes. Because they have a very long history, I think going back 4 years. Really should put my phone on mute. But the point being, I mean, and Vay's another one that she'll do. It just so many just pile on. It just this is nice to see support for Silvervale, but the bad part is everybody misconstruing Cinder's part in this because they don't know. They don't know. At least she's. It's nice that she got support, but it's sad that she got support for this reason. Right. Okay, I brought this up. We're Shy Lily and Sinder friends. Because this is basically where it all started. All right. The conflict accounts regarding their past relationship between Shy Lily and Sinder. They had a close friendship, mutual trust, confidence shared. However, other sources indicate They may not have been close friends, but rather mutual acquaintances within their VTuber community. All right. So basically, it's very ambiguous, but I think it'd be fair to say because of Gamer Subs and VCard, they were business partners, right? Um, let's see. Is there anything? This they don't know. There's nothing to prove. This no community notes on Twitter are nice when people actually know what the fuck they're talking about. There is no evidence that Cinder had knowledge or gave consent to redacted to speak the way he spoke. There's no evidence of it. And that is very, very important. Because some of the things that he said in this document is really fucking bad. I personally feel that Cinder is taking a lot of heat because of her manager. Right? Or her ex-manager now. Her ex-manager. Excuse me, I need to get something. All right. Does anybody want to chime in before I start kind of wrapping this up? I mean, I kind of started this stream for you all to come in here and voice your opinions. We did have some interactions, but does anybody want to add anything to this, or maybe give me some insight that I haven't really covered? I'll give you a few minutes because I know my stream is a little bit behind. Got that delay going. That is a nice thing. Apparently, Gamers Hub is still. Yeah, I am curious if Gamers Hub dropped syndrome. Doesn't look like it. At least she hasn't lost that sponsorship. That's a you gotta look at it. Okay, that's true. Nope. They're just not advertising her. That's all. From what I can tell. Yeah, just not advertising her. Yeah, I'm just closing the tabs out. All right. And I'm just going to leave Cinder's apology. What I will say about Cinder's apology. Needs some time. She didn't really throw Redacted on the bus. She fired him. But she didn't really throw him on the bus. Probably should have. I'm going to get away with it. The only thing she said here, she kind of take ownership of her mistakes. Which is basically not having balance in work life. Okay, that's what's her mistake. I mean, it's important to do your streams and your projects, but it's also important to keep an eye on your business. Make sure people that you put in charge of certain things are actually doing the job the way you want it to be done, not the way they tell you they're going to do it. Right? Because that's your image. That's what, if something happens and they misbehave, it will always come back on the talent. Why did you have him as a manager? Why do you have this person in a management position? That's the question that's going to be asked. And the other thing, as we've seen throughout this whole situation, everybody assumes that Cinder was aware of what Redacted was doing. And you know what I say about assuming things? It makes an ass out of you, not me. Because I don't assume that you're right. But she takes ownership. Okay, she owns it. And that alone is enough for me to respect her. She owns it. I wish she would, like I said before, I wish she would have done this in a video. I really do. Because text, a document is so impersonal. It would have been more effective and more impactful to hear her voice, to hear her being sincere. You could tell, because most people dunk on apology videos. Because most of the time when someone does an apology video, you can tell if they're being sincere or not, or they're doing it out of fear. Now, the ones they say is a good apology video are people that watch it and go, yeah, they're being sincere. You can tell. But at least right now, in this document, she took ownership of it. Oh, cotton. Oh, Jesus. I didn't know that. I believe it. That she had no knowledge about what Redacted was doing, trying to get an exclusive contract with Nano. I believe it. Uh, this, yeah, that looks bad. Okay, that does. It shows that she holding a vendetta against Silverberg. She admits it, which once again earns my respect. That should earn everybody's respect. That she's not ducking it, she's not denying it, like a lot of other people do. Okay, and she owns it. She owns she tried to manipulate her. She owns it. Okay, which no should be respected. All right. Okay, this finally answers the question I've been asking. That tells me Red's messages to Nano were made without knowledge and approval of Cinder. He says it right there. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Val in these DMs either. And him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect. And I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. All right. I talked about other parts of this in my first video. I don't want to rehash it. But basically, most of this here is about the editor. Once again, she doesn't approve of it. What? This is a factual statement in writing that she doesn't approve what Red said in the document, in his DMs to Nano. She says it right there. Yeah, I don't get the big deal about that. That's just stupid. I mean, people going off on that, it's just stupid. That's what you're supposed to do. When you're in a business relationship, you're just talking about business. Okay. What are you going to do? Hey, you going to make a VTuber model for me? Yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, here's a cheesecake recipe. What does that have to do with a VTuber model? Like I said, I don't fucking get why people made this a big fucking deal. I don't. This is just something for people to latch on to make a meme. That's all. That's all it is. Nothing else. That's all it was. It was so someone can make a meme. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like, hey, just so you know, if you work with that C word again, we're going to kill your dog. Okay, that would be a hort. That would be horrible. That would be disgusting. It's just business. Doesn't match up to that. All right, this is her talking about Superman. I mean, a lot of stuff that Red brought up, she didn't have knowledge of. I mean, most of this, she's taken ownership of a lot of things that she doesn't really have to, because a lot of it was done by Red. And she has repeated multiple times in this document that she was unaware of what Red was doing in DMs. That is very important. Yeah, it goes back to whether you want to believe her or not. That's all. But since there's no evidence to the otherwise, we're going to believe her. All right. As I said before, all of this could have been solved, really, if people would just talk to each other behind the scenes. But Cinder is a major mistake. Cinder's major mistake was not checking on Red's discussions with contractors, because that's what Nanolist is, that's what editors are, that's what music producers are. They're contractors. They're entering in a limited business relationship with you. And mistake that Cinder made was not checking on Red, seeing how he talks to people, and verifying that he was keeping it strictly about business and not bringing up other VTubers or anything else. That was her mistake. Right. That's the reason why I said a manager should be a manager, a professional. If you don't have the experience to be a professional manager, don't do it until you learn how. Get someone to mentor you. Study a little bit. Ask, people that who have been managers professionally for a long time, get advice. How do you talk to a contractor that does artwork? How do you talk to this person? You just stick to business, man. Stick to the business. It's the best advice that I could give anybody who's interested in doing any kind of business, whether it be content creation or painting walls in someone's house. You stick to business. How much, what color, whatever. You stick to business. You don't get into personal stuff because it's about the business. You don't talk about, hey, that painter down the road, man, you should have seen how he slathered on that paint on the wall. You can see the drip marks all over the damn place. No? That's how he paints. That's how he paints. I mean, the word gets around if he's a bad painter or a good painter. Just like if it gets around that you lied, or you talk bad about people, it gets around. Think what happened to Cinder. And I don't mean to make anybody mad. It was 1,000% preventable. I think there were some instigations. I think there's underlying causes for it to happen the way it happened. People were pissed off each other before even Google Doc or even a release of DMs. That DM that was leaked to Shy Lily was the match that lit the fuse to the dynamite. Whoever released that to Shy Lily is the one that instigated all of this. I'm not going to say it's Nano, because we don't know. We'll never know. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But it also could be Nano's friend that translated the stuff for her and saw Shy Lily. And since Nano does a lot of VTuber work, they probably recognize Shy Lily's name and sent it to Shy Lily. Then Shy Lily connected contacted Nano and say, what the fuck is this? Hey, that scenario is just as likely as every other one that's been out there. Because we don't know how it started. All we know is that someone leaked a DM to Shiloh. We don't know who. And we can't say for any certainty it was Nanos. We can't, because... So someone had a grudge either against Shiloh, Bao, or Sinder herself, or Nanos, and wanted to do something to hurt her. Or they had a grudge against all of them. They just wanted to go, hey, I'm going to tear them apart because, for whatever reason. Because it's a fucking Thursday, I'm going to do it. That's the aggravating part. The other aggravating part is the unwillingness to sit down and talk this out. Because when it's all said and done, this isn't a big fucking deal. It isn't. Nobody's life was in jeopardy. Nobody was going to die. That's my level of saying this is a big fucking deal. Nobody's life was in jeopardy. This is only a step or two above someone taking someone else's ball on the playground. That's it. In the grand scheme of things, that's all this is. Someone bitching about someone taking a ball on the playground. Editors, artists, I don't want you working with because I want to be, because I don't like you. I don't want you to be on my team because you smell bad. See how childish it is? Now, it has come to light that there's been certain accusations made about the fans of Sinder doxing people. I don't know if it's true. I don't know, which is one of the reasons why I kind of wish. What's this? Yeah, I shouldn't have closed that. Hopefully, I got the right Twitter loaded on this computer. I don't want to leak my name like I always do. Well, it's okay. I'm on the right one. Okay. Pyro Pup? Nope. Huh. I see very little difference between how media handled COVID in this side. Are you here? Because that was freaking hilarious. Okay, we're gonna follow you. Okay, but that was funny. Pyro Pup Center. That's the Pyro Pup Center. Because I don't want to message it on Twitter because everybody will see it. I don't think I can DM you. No, can't do. Whatever. I kind of wish there was a Discord that I can have people come in and talk about this, but I think Pyro Pub Center has something about it. We're getting there. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably. If I was monetized, that just got me demonetized. What? Yeah, that's nice. I thought Power Pup said something about people doxing. Shy Lily. Maybe it'd be better, but because I mean, I don't want to make. I'm trying to make stop from making false accusation because that's his job. Okay, Shy. Yeah, let's see if I can spell Shy Lily. Okay. Okay, I saw this one. Calling out Shallow and Nano after some pirate post would be a good idea to dox Lily Hunt. Seriously, this is the most parasocial behavior I think I ever seen on this app. Congratulations. Who doxed her? Is he saying this person doxed them? Okay, I don't see what the whole. There's accusations that Shy Lily was doxed by Cinder fans. I don't see any. All right. There's claims, right, that there's Shy Lily was doxed by Cinder fans. I saw where another VTuber took a picture and posted it on Twitter, but with her revealing her face, and that was she took it down when Shy Lily said something. If it's true, yeah, that's the lunatic fringe doing that shit. It's not. They're not real fans of Cinder. It doesn't help her in any way to dox people. It doesn't help. Now, this is me addressing the fans of Cinder. Okay, she is going to come back. I believe that. Okay, she can bounce back from this, but she's going to need your help. Right? As tempted as you are to go after the other players involved in this, you have to recognize that Cinder made some mistakes. She admits it herself. Read her apology. Right? Okay. She admits her mistakes, which should be respected, and all people should recognize it. Not everybody's going to do it, but okay, you just have to accept the fact that's no, not everybody's going to do it, and you're just going to have to live with it. But she can't get through this. She can't get over this. This isn't, if she has the strength to weather the storm and come out the other side, she'll be stronger. She'll be better for it. This isn't a horrendous act. This isn't, this is high school bullshit. But she, her main mistake was having Red act as her manager. He wasn't trained, as a lot of people said in my chat. He wasn't professional, and he didn't know how to operate a business, and that reflects badly on her. But she's the one that hired him. She's the one that kept him employed, and regretfully, she was the one that got into a relationship with him, a romantic one, whether it's long distance or whatever. But that's her mistake, and she has to own that. She has to take responsibility, even though I said differently. She has to take responsibility for the things Red did in her name. I know it doesn't sound fair. I don't think it's fair. I think, is Redacted still on X? Let's take a look real fast for Red. He's well Redacted. That it? Wrong mouse. No, that's just a good decision. I can't linger on pictures too long because I don't want someone to shut my stream down. Okay. Guess we'll try Googling it. Won't paste. Not what I wanted. So this is Sony. I guess he probably cleared out a bunch of his tweets. Anyway, but to kind of wrap this up and put it in a put this in a bow. Mistakes were made around. I could see how someone was instigating this. I can't say who. We'll never know who. But everybody from Val to Shy Lily to Nanolis to Silvervale to Cinder are all victims here. Problem is, Cinder is getting a lot of the heat right now. As I said this before, she needs to reach out to these people after she gives them a little bit of time to cool down and try to apologize. I know Natalis has her blocked, but no, you just got to keep working at it. Just got to keep working at it because that's the only way you're really going to get past this. And I'm sure Sinder fans don't feel she should, but right now that's the best thing for her because it will help her mentally. People that she was close to, that she thought were friends, forgive her. That way she can move forward. Anyway, thanks for coming out. Those of you that stay throughout the whole stream, I appreciate it. Hopefully, you're either going to like it or not like it. Up to you. Please, if you like it, subscribe, comment, leave a like, and all that stuff. Hey, get me up to 7. But y'all have a good night. I wish the best for Cinder. Hopefully she'll come back. All right, let me leave y'all with this. This is the way we started it. We'll end it this way, okay? Just to give you a little Cinder vibes for y'all, for your fan, for the Power Pups.
I am a hellhound no longer. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm a hellhound. Thank you. Thanks. Why is there a bottom of my chair? God damn it. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are super excited to see the new Heaven Hand model. So, without further ado, I won't keep you any longer. I feel like this is the first debut, finally, where